Tonight on Cronkite News, flight attendants demonstrate at Phoenix Sky Harbor. We'll tell you what they're demanding.
Plus, why one state program that helps families with child care costs is in limbo, leaving thousands on a waiting list.
And March Madness is officially here and underway. Stay tuned to find out all you need to know about the tournament's betting favorites. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Jacob Seaver.
And I'm Charlie Vicario. Thank you for joining us.
A recent spate of airline accidents have travelers thinking about aviation safety. It's one of the reasons airline workers say their jobs are more important than ever.
Flight attendants were out demonstrating at Sky Harbor Airport this morning. Leslie Chapman was there and says these airline workers are taking their contract negotiations to the public.
Today at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, flight attendants and pilots from United Airlines are taking to the picket line to demand the contracts they say they deserve. And this isn't only happening here at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, it's happening nationwide. In light of recent aviation incidents, United Airlines flight attendants say they perform life-saving work every day to ensure passenger safety. Just last month, a United Airlines flight from Houston to New York was evacuated after an engine fire forced crew to abort takeoff at George Bush Intercontinental Airport. Passengers reported seeing flames near the wing and standing on the tarmac after being safely evacuated. It's incidents like these that have flight attendants calling themselves aviation's first responders. United Airlines workers are demanding the contracts they deserve, saying that they want better pay, better job security, and more pay for the time that they are at work. At Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, Leslie Chapman, Cronkite News.
In a statement to Cronkite News, United Airlines said we're having productive negotiations with the AFA, including last week, and we continue to find common ground. We're eager to reach the industry-leading contract our flight attendants deserve. And one clarification to Leslie's report, workers today were not on the picket line. They were demonstrating for a fair contract, but they say they have voted to authorize a strike if necessary.
A memorial service will be held for former Congressman Raul Grijalva in Tucson next week. A rosary service is planned on the 25th, while a mass service is scheduled for the 26th. Grijalva's family has requested donations to his scholarship fund as a substitute to flowers. Grijalva passed away last week after a battle with cancer.
Meanwhile, Arizona Secretary of State Adrian Fontes has announced that he is interested in filling Raul Grijalva's vacant congressional seat. Fontes announced his consideration on X. 13 people have filed statements of interest to fill the seat and enter the primary election, not including Fontes. Governor Katie Hobbs announced that a primary election for Congressional District 7 will be on July 5th, followed by a general election September 23rd.
And for the first time in 2 years, an inmate was executed in the state of Arizona. Aaron Brian Gunchis died by lethal injection today at the Arizona State Prison Complex in Florence. Gunchis fatally shot Ted Price in 2002 and pled guilty to first-degree murder in 2007.
Childcare can be pricey. A program to help families with childcare costs is in limbo right now with a large wait list.
And Alyssa Firestone has an update on how the delays are impacting childcare facilities.
Kids playing in recess, classrooms covered with colorful projects. These are the scenes Whiz Kids Preschool fosters for children. But a backlog of applications for funding through the Department of Economic Security has Whiz Kids worried.
It impacts not only facilities like ours, but childcare companies across the valley that are either small, medium, even the large ones, right?
According to the Arizona Early Childhood Education Association, funding from the state's general fund and a federal grant were not enough to cover the cost of the program, creating the wait list that began in August.
So any new family trying to apply, or established families that need to renew their contracts, or new schools like ours in Moon Valley, are being affected because they're months behind.
The lack of access to child care means more empty spaces and facilities offering the service.
We all thrive on enrollment, and that's the way we keep our doors open and the lights on.
Whiz Kids Preschool is not alone. Natalie Garrity is trying to make ends meet at her preschool in Scottsdale with currently 13 kids enrolled.
I love the children so much. I'm here for the kids, but I also need to make a living. It's very difficult for us to be able to financially provide for the needs of the regulations on us.
The Arizona Early Childhood Education Association advocates for licensed child care centers in the Valley. Executive director of the organization, Barbie Prinster, has seen all of these effects in play and believes there is one true solution to it all.
We need state general fund money to fund childcare in Arizona. But in order to get rid of the wait list and get people back to work and able to go to work, we need to fund the entire system.
While waiting for the state to allocate some money, facilities are trying to become more flexible with families' budgets and hours, striving to help them and keep their doors open.
We definitely want to be able to support people that really need it. Our hope is that this will pass and that we're their go-to people for quality, safe family environment.
Alyssa Firestone, Cronkite News.
In an email, a spokesperson from DES tells us high demand and the availability of budget resources has made waitlists necessary now and in the past.
He also says DES supports the governor's budget proposal, calling for more money for child care assistance. Coming up next, how healthcare services are evolving to better serve Arizona's senior community.
And these small changes can have big impacts.
The families hug me, they thank me, the patients thank me.
After the break, we'll have more on the healthcare services that are helping seniors here in Arizona.
Plus, the Valley could potentially be setting record-breaking temperatures this week. Join us after the break for an 8-day weather forecast.
The families hug me, they thank me, the patients thank me.
Welcome back. Arizona is home to one of the highest percentages of senior populations in the nation, which means healthcare services are constantly evolving to better serve elderly communities.
Leah Phillips joins us in studio to talk about how one medical service is improving the lives of seniors right here in our state.
At-home medical care has seen a surge in popularity, especially among older patients opting to receive care in the comfort of their own homes. A relief for many when other medical conditions make it harder to receive care in a traditional sense. I spoke with AZ Wound Healers, one of the providers here in the Valley, about how these services are making an impact.
We'll be loading up the vehicle and then heading over to the assisted living.
Bringing care to patients' front doors, an innovative and relieving reality for many. As medical technology evolves, home care is becoming more and more possible to those who wouldn't be able to access treatment otherwise.
Being able to give them all the care that they need within their environment where they feel safe and comfortable, it's absolutely 100% can be done.
And for the Valley-based home care providers, AZ Wound Healers, it's what they do. Ed Tobby has seen the impact of home care firsthand, facing challenges when seeking care for his mother.
If we were to have to take her to an office for a doctor appointment, that appointment might be 15 minutes, but the whole ordeal is going to take 3 or 4 hours.
Tobby's mother has advanced dementia, which makes leaving home to receive treatments more difficult. She's one of the roughly 70% of home care patients that are age 65 and up. And despite being home care, patients can still get a wide range of standard treatments.
And that's what these patients want. They just want to be able to tell their story. They want someone to listen to them and treat them holistically.
Just because we can't go to a doctor's office doesn't mean the care is not as good as it would be. I think the care mom is receiving is actually better than most. Probably better than I get when I go to my doctor, right?
And patients give something special to providers too.
It's rewarding. It's very, very rewarding, and they're so appreciative.
Changing the normal dynamic in healthcare and giving hope to those who may not have had it otherwise.
I know that Valerie cares for my mom as much as I do.
In Phoenix, Leah Phillips, Cronkite News. And according to the AARP, Arizona ranks 22nd in the nation for care of older adults. And organizations like AZ Wound Healers are making strides to keep up with the needs of our aging population. In the newsroom, I'm Leah Phillips.
In an effort to combat fraud, some may now experience an even longer line at local Social Security office. The Social Security Administration announced that if you cannot prove your identity online when looking to file benefit applications, you must now visit a field office. In addition, you will not be allowed to change your bank account information over the phone. These changes come at a time when the agency is letting go of thousands of their employees and closing several of their offices.
Purdue Pharma filed a new bankruptcy plan hoping to reorganize following opioid-related lawsuits. The Chapter 11 plan proposed a $7.4 billion settlement and will dissolve the drug-making company. Purdue Pharma faced thousands of lawsuits from states, local governments, hospitals, and individuals impacted by the opioid crisis. The lawsuits claim that OxyContin, a drug made by Purdue Pharma, caused widespread opioid addictions throughout the United States. The state of Arizona filed a lawsuit against Purdue Pharma in 2018, which claimed that the company violated a deceptive marketing court order.
According to the World Meteorological Organization, the last decade has been the hottest on record, and in almost 200 years of record keeping, 2024 was the warmest year yet. The data showed that greenhouse gases primarily contributed to the rise in temperatures. Over 90% of the Earth's excess heat is absorbed and stored by the ocean. This means the ocean's heat levels and sea levels also reached record highs in 2024. The WMO Secretary General called the latest report a wake-up call to the increasing risk faced to people's lives, the economy, and to the planet.
Last year, Phoenix experienced a 113-day streak of temperatures over 100 degrees.
And it looks like the Valley will be experiencing more unseasonably warm weather this week. Luke Carter joins us now from the Cronkite Weather Center with what we can expect.
That is right. There are some unseasonably high temperatures coming to the state of Arizona. But for right now, it's looking pretty beautiful. 71 degrees if you leave your house right now before a slow, steady decrease throughout the night, getting down to 63 degrees at 10 p.m., which takes us to our overnight lows in the state of Arizona. Phoenix, looking quite nice, 54 degrees tonight. Shouldn't be too cold or anything, but if you live on the eastern side of the state, specifically places like Holbrook or Window Rock, quite chilly tonight. Be sure to stay warm, turn on your heater, have a blanket or something. But speaking of staying warm, that's not going to be a worry if you're living in Yuma, 84 degrees, the hottest city in the state of Arizona tomorrow at 84. Down in Tucson, a nice crispy 82 degrees. That's nice for those Arizona Wildcat fans getting ready for March Madness. Enjoy the day tomorrow before you play on Friday because the chaos, it's ready to ensue. Now as we take a look at our 8-day forecast, 81 degrees, 85 on Friday, cloud cover 88 on Saturday, but then come the 90s. We're looking at 90-degree weather from Sunday all the way through Thursday, and on Wednesday, even though there's clouds, it's going to be 98 out. So that day of 100-degree weather that you talked about, we could be entering it very, very soon here in the Valley. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Luke Carter. Back to Charlie and Jacob.
Coming up next, everyone has a unique story on how they got their current position, and that's especially true with one Arizona State basketball coach.
We take an inside look at one coach's path from a brief playing career in Texas to coaching under Bobby Hurley. Ty Larson shares what his mentors taught him to keep pushing until he achieved his goal.
As a teacher, you just want to reach people. You want to make a difference. You want to help them. I have an opportunity to do something I never imagined I would be able to do. Go out and build the best biology class the world has ever seen. When you go into Dreamscape Learn, you put on a set of goggles and you can go anywhere. You can be anyone and do anything. The thing about Arizona State University is they're always thinking about what's next. We can create virtual reality experiences so that you can learn by exploring in a virtual world the way that scientists explore in the real world. And kids can feel that. All these emotions are what help the brain encode information. When I see a student come out of VR, the look on their face is nothing like I've ever seen when I finish a lecture. They look so happy to be there in that moment. You know that you've reached them.
Welcome to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Emily Schmier. The red-hot GCU Antelopes, led by Molly Miller, are headed to the big stage after winning their first Western Athletic Conference tournament in program history. The Lopes are headed to Waco to take on Baylor. GCU is looking to move 3-0 on the season against Big 12 teams. In Waco, the Lopes hope to be treated with some extra Southern hospitality by Scott Drew, the brother of GCU men's basketball head coach Bryce Drew and the head coach of Baylor's men's team.
I asked him if I need laundry done, can I hit up his brother or equipment manager to get some laundry? Is there an inside track there? So we're really excited. He said the facility's great. We're really going to enjoy ourselves. And yeah, he just said to yourself.
Those Lopes aren't the only squad from State 48 going dancing. March Madness has officially tipped off, and there are 3 teams set to represent Arizona in both the men's and women's tournaments. GCU women's basketball is a 13th seed and will take on 4th-seeded Baylor in Waco. The Lopes are playing in the tournament for the first time and have just a 4.7% chance of moving on. On the men's side, GCU is also a 13th seed, taking on number 4 Maryland. ESPN Analytics are giving the Lopes a 13.9% chance to upset the Terrapins. Both of those games will be played this Friday. And now to the last Arizona team competing in March Madness. The Arizona Wildcats are no stranger to the tournament, but haven't found much success lately. Establishing a pattern since 2016, the Wildcats have altered exiting in either the first round or the Sweet 16. Tommy Lloyd's squad hopes to break this trend in 2025, but if history tells us anything, Arizona could be in for an exciting matchup against Akron Friday. The odds seem pretty set in stone for Arizona's teams, but overall, the NCAA Tournament is one of the most bet-on sporting events in the country. Our reporter, Brady Poplar, shares a few of his favorite picks coming off of his Super Bowl parlay that went 3 for 3.
March Madness begins tomorrow. I picked out 3 teams to make the Elite 8. If you bet $10, you would win $46. Leg number 1, Duke to make the Elite 8. Duke won both its regular season and conference tournament. The Blue Devils are on an 11-game winning streak. Next, Florida to make the Elite 8. The Gators are on a 6-game winning streak, including winning the SEC tournament. Finally, my favorite pick, St. John's to make the Elite 8. Led by Rick Pitino, St. John's went 30-4, winning both the regular season and Big East tournament. Florida and Duke are the top favorites to win the title. St. John's is in the top 10. For a potentially profitable way to watch March Madness, keep these plays in mind. With winners, Brady Poplar, Cronkite Sports.
Thanks, Brady. We'll keep an eye on those bets to see if you can keep your streak alive. The road to becoming a coach can take on different shapes and sizes, and for Ty Larson, it's especially unique. Cronkite News reporter Andres Armenta spoke with the ASU men's basketball assistant coach to uncover his earliest mentors, unique beginning, and current impact.
You know, I didn't think it would happen this fast. I genuinely didn't.
Nice. 5 years ago, Ty Larson was a student assistant at a Chris Beard-led Texas Tech program, and now he plays an important role on the ASU men's basketball coaching staff.
Working for Beard, it was great because he started that way and he saw the value in that spot.
So much value that Larson earned a moment out on the hardwood.
Ty Larson will be entering this game.
Becoming a D1 player for 54 seconds.
That's great.
Yeah.
Did he draw the offensive foul? He took the charge.
That was a special night, man.
How great is that?
Coach Beard's message after the game was a simple note, written on a one-of-a-kind piece of paper.
There's a stat sheet on my desk, and Coach Beard wrote a note to me that said, like, never lose your chip.
And he never did. But before Coach Beard, it was his high school AAU coach, Brian Marceau, that laid the foundation for Larson's mindset and character.
He taught you how to be a man. He's an incredible coach, he's an incredible person, and he really had an impact on me.
And now, Larson makes his impact felt in the same way.
Good, same shot. Now rise. There you go. Beautiful. Nice, nice, beautiful.
Coaching the next generation of Sun Devil hoops.
Hey, you ready to play? All right, be you, be you. This thing's about winning, but it's about the players. You know, you got to be that leader out there. Our job is to pour into these kids and put them in the best positions to have success on the floor. This is exactly what I want to be doing, so I do love it.
A student turned teacher of the game, Larson has found his spot on the hardwood once again.
It's everything I was hoping it'd be and then some.
Reporting from Tempe, Andres Armenta, Cronkite News.
With one more tournament still in store for the Sun Devils, it's an opportunity for Larson and the rest of the coaching staff to continue to develop players and end the year on a high note. A basketball camp in Mesa is looking to provide that same support to another group of young athletes. Our Paisley Poole has more about what the camp has done for children and parents of incarcerated family members.
The nonprofit organization Prison Fellowship Angel Tree makes it possible for adults who are serving time in prison to sign their children up for various sports camps, and at Central Christian Church in Mesa, a basketball camp.
A lot of these kids are coming in with the burden of having an incarcerated parent, and there may be shame associated with that, but then they get to walk in and see 300 people who are going through exactly what they're going through.
Brandon Johnson is a camp mentor, a standout at the University of San Diego who had quick stints with the Phoenix Suns and Washington Wizards in the Summer League before being sentenced 6 months in prison for sports bribery charges.
I went to prison also, and I have a son, so I played basketball at one of the highest levels, and so with Prison Fellowship is doing these camps with Angel Tree is just an amazing thing for my life.
Johnson is now a motivational speaker and founded nonprofits of his own to educate kids on life skills. And while the kids are dribbling and bouncing basketballs in the gym, parents are receiving mentorship and networking with each other to find hope in this time of their lives.
When you finally find that one person you can open up to, it's a wonderful experience.
Kids were able to leave with new Nike shoes and some basketball skills, while parents left with knowing they weren't alone. In Mesa, Paisley Poole, Cronkite News.
The program in Mesa clearly has a great benefit on the lives of the parents, children, and coaches involved. From the hardwood to the dirt, opening day for the Arizona Diamondbacks is right around the corner, and the team gave fans an early peek at some of the new upgrades and food offerings premiering at Chase Field this year. The biggest upgrades to enhance the fan experience this year, according to the team's president and CEO Derek Hall, are fixing the lingering roof problems and improving the stadium's air conditioning system, keeping fans nice and cool during the grueling summer heat. Fans can also expect a new array of delicious food offerings, including sweet and spicy Korean wings, filthy mac fries, and the carne asada nacho helmet. The D-backs will host the Chicago Cubs next week on the 27th to kick off the 2025 season. That's all for tonight's Cronkite Sports Report. Charlie and Jacob, back to you at the desk.
Coming up next, something splashed down off the coast of Florida yesterday.
And many celebrated the return of two hometown heroes.
And splashdown, Crew 9 back on Earth.
We'll have more on the two astronauts who returned to Earth after the break.
What Cronkite News means to me is
Opportunity.
We do news right at Cronkite News, serving a community ethically, honestly, and truthfully.
And we can provide a necessarily different angle, different voice for those people that really need it.
The students, they have a lot of passion for journalism.
I get to do a lot of stories about the Hispanic community.
And we have access to cover all of these sorts of events and get media coverage of all these different personalities and athletes, and that's just a huge thing.
But it's also a chance for people here to be humanized. Individuals of all walks of life.
Cronkite News will help take the next generation of journalists onto their next careers.
I am old enough to remember Walter Cronkite.
We're putting a lot of pride on his name because we are practicing a lot of the things that he did.
I think he'd be smiling from ear to ear.
I.
We are Cronkite.
Welcome back. The two astronauts who were in space for nearly 10 months have come back to Earth.
And people all over the world are celebrating their return.
USA! USA! USA!
People are celebrating the astronauts' return from space after what was supposed to be a one-week mission was extended. Now, nearly 10 months later, they have splashed down on Earth.
That's it for tonight's edition of Cronkite News. I'm Charlie Vicario.
And I'm Jacob Seaver. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.